Welcome to my fish room.
We're fish, whereas most South American cichlids, big fish, big mouths, and they'll eat things. Salt water, we got big fish with small mouths. So you can have a big angel in with the little clownfish. Can't eat them. There's more variation in the ocean. You can be more specialized in an environment where there's a lot more food that you can actually make it so you can only eat one thing. Like there's certain snails, like the flamingo tongue snail, it will only eat Gorgonian coral. There's other fish that, okay, you live way down deep in the ocean, you can't find a boy when you need him. Well, when a boy and a girl meets, he starts chewing on her. And then his head grows into her body and he becomes connected to her blood system. What? The hagfish. Some of the frogfish do it too. Lanternfish, they're the bioluminescent. We also got flashlight fish. They're a black fish, about that long. They got a white patch on their cheek. You turn the lights off and it goes flash. Flash. Or have you ever seen those flashing gobies? They're about that long and they shift through pink, mauve, yellow, blue, and the colors just blend together as they change color. You just gotta keep a lid in the tank because they jumped. Yes?
In a tank, is there a hot water fish?
There's always an alpha fish. Like this tank here, does anybody know which one's the alpha?
The smallest one.
Actually not. Okay. This one is not a fish that is too bossy. Like Siamese fighting fish are a very alpha type fish. They've been bred for it though, and people that bred them also let them go. So they made the wild ones more aggressive than they used to be. So you can't really find a peaceful betta. But you'll always find it's usually a male, except in clownfish. Female's the alpha, okay? And they're born as neutral, and then the most dominant's the girl, the second most dominant's the boy. If the female dies, that boy moves up, becomes a girl, and another one comes up and becomes a boy. But you can't go back. Once you went girl, you're a girl forever. The alpha would be that big male in the back. In what? Just look at them. They're not really exhibiting too much dominance here because they just set us up yesterday. But I've been looking after this tank for 12 years, and they were set up in an office for a long time. So yeah, you get to know which ones are. Any questions? Anybody here got? Well, you got 3 tanks. You got tanks? You gonna get one today though? Fabulous deals, 613, Star Aquatics.
What about if you wanted to do the board built-in tank?
Don't do what they do on tanks. Watch the show about Fish Tank Company. They put 14 boxes of fish in the tank all in one day. If you want to do a big fish tank in a wall, basically it's usually going to be acrylic. It's a lot less weight, a lot easier to make all the shapes and everything. Because some of them, you put a convex curve on it so that the water, stays in the tank. We got some that are cylindrical, stuff like that. So you fill them all up, you get them running, and it's easier than setting up a small tank. A little tank is a lot more unstable and conditions change a lot faster. You got a big tank, you can throw in 20 fish all at once, no problem. Because the volume of water dilutes any ammonia that they produce until the bacteria. We also have bacteria cultures. You can set up a tank, like this tank was set up instantly, okay? What we did was we brought water from the fish room. We brought these filters that were running on the tank at the fish room, and these fish have been in this water all along. So we just brought it, set it up, away you go. If you want to do that at home, set your tank up And then you buy a bottle of stability, put your fish in it, and add the bacteria culture. It's the same bacteria that over time will grow up in any tank, but it's laboratory grade. You throw it in, and you put that in every day for the next week, and you can have your instant fish tank without having to go to the trouble of bringing all the water, all the filtration, and stuff like that. Okay, so, any other subjects anybody want to cover?
No, you said that you could talk.
What?
No, you said you could talk. Right?
Yeah, but I want to make sure people know what I'm talking about. Okay, say you want to have a planted tank. There's easy ways to do it. All you do is you take the tank apart, put dirt, regular topsoil, put a screen on top of that, like window screen, fiberglass, something like that, and then you put your gravel on top of that. What that does is the dirt is in your water, providing all the micronutrients. You have the gravel. You don't want to have too fine a gravel for plants. You want like a number 4 and number 5. This is number 4, number 5 pebbles like that. And that way when you put it in, you need 3 watts of light per gallon, and then the plants will grow. They'll put the roots down into the dirt, and that way they get lots of fertilizer and nutrition, stuff like that. You try to stay away from the roots, because if you're cutting the roots when you're cleaning your tank, that plant has to produce more energy to regrow that root. Okay? A lot of people, when they have that, they'll use what's called a Malaysian live-bearer snail. You know them? Okay. They're a cone-shaped snail. They're very narrow, pointy, and they burrow under the gravel. Okay? So they'll clean your gravel around your plants without hurting them. Plus, they can become a pest, but they're also a good indicator of your water quality. They will only live in a tank where the water quality is really good. Put a clown loach in. Put a clown loach in. See, the clown loaches can eat the babies. They can't eat the adults, so you keep your snail population, but you keep it in check because the majority of the babies get eaten by the clown loaches. Yeah, were they the pond snails? Yeah, they'll wipe your tank out, but if you put in clown loaches, yo-yo loaches, anything like that, yeah, they'll eat them. Or you can have a puffer tank and take the snails out of your one tank and put them in with your puffers because they need to eat something that has a hard shell, and that wears your teeth down. All right, bye. Okay, so I don't know how much longer I got left. 2 minutes. Okay, so always take things slow. Patience is a virtue. Don't throw too much in all at once. If you do, put the stability in to compensate for the bacteria not having a chance to go. Feed them high quality food. Do not buy a great big huge can of fish food that you're going to use for the next year and a half. By the time the year and a half is up, that fish food is virtually worthless. Use small containers. If you want to buy a big value container, put it in a bag, put it in the freezer. Have a small container. Feed a variety of foods. You can use live foods out of nature, but you can sometimes introduce bad things with